Can you guys hear me? Let's see. So dark in here. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Hello? I don't know. I don't know if the volume is on here. Okay, so looks like I have a few people on. Tell me where you guys are from, where you guys are watching from. Okay, nobody is responding, but I cannot, I don't know if am I on? Hello? Can you guys hear me? I don't know if the mic is on here. Okay, so I can't get started unless you guys let me know you can hear me. Can you guys put in the chats if you can hear me? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Hello? Maybe I should turn my volume up. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Hi. Oops, that's supposed to be here. Can you hear me? Good morning. Under Grace. Okay, I got about 6 people on, hearing you loud and clear. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so under Grace, can you tell me where you're from? Wonder why it's so slow. Okay, let's see. Western Colorado. Okay. Okay, great. Western Colorado. Colorado is so beautiful. A little bit cuckoo in their laws, but still beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to wait another 2 minutes, but I'm glad you can hear me. So I'm actually going to, if you guys have questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. My internet is really slow. Agreed. Yeah, that's why I moved from California, because California is beautiful too, and their laws are a little bit cuckoo too. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so go ahead and so first of all, if I can find out what stage in life you are, okay, because this is how I'm going to cater it to those of you who are watching, okay, as far as how to treat dry and dehydrated skin. So if you guys can let me know in the chat, you can just put your number, your age number, because that will let me know. Or if you are dealing with just dry, just dehydrated, or dry and dehydrated skin. Okay. So um, there's I'm seeing an increase of people who are just, it doesn't matter what they put on their face, they're having perpetually dry and dehydrated skin. So um, a lot of it has to do, there's like several different conditions. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about okay, so first of all, if you guys are just jumping on and you don't know who I am, my name is Christy and I have been treating skin for over 17 years. This is actually my fourth career, and I actually retired, believe it or not, in December 2019. So then a lot of my clients kept contacting me via email saying, can you please I just have this one question. So then I said, okay, I'll just take some people on part time. And then it just kind of spread over. So, oh, you're 73. Okay. Okay, great. So finally, somebody who is older than me. It seems like I have a very young, um, audience according to my analytics, which is interesting because typically who your audience is usually people who who um, align with you or who identify with you, right? Your age group. So that's kind of interesting. um, 22 years old, oh my goodness, such a baby. Oily skin, new on the channel. Okay, so I hope I say your name right. Rohit, welcome to my channel. So I've actually been treating clients, and I specialize in hyperpigmentation, acne, and anti-aging without the use of topical medication. Because as I started to practice, uh, I started to realize that when one topical medication was used to address a number of skin conditions, other skin conditions would pop up. And so it it's it's just kind of like like for example, you see those psoriasis uh, medications to treat, psoriasis, but then it says it suppresses your immune system. Well, psoriasis is basically a symptom of autoimmune. So you're basically suppressing your body, trying to tell you that something inside is wrong. So that's basically kind of what my practice is. Now, I am going to be telling you, I have a outline here because one of the things that bother me is when I watch a YouTube live and then they kind of go off the rails because they start off talking about one thing and then they start talking about all this other stuff. So I want to kind of keep an outline so that it is addressed to what you guys are here for. Okay. So if you see me going to the sideline, I wrote out an outline. Okay. Um, so and I find myself writing this in a lot of the comments. So any of the products that I refer to or reference to, I put it in the description below the video. Okay. And there's some discount codes in there. And for those of you who are on my email list, you guys have a better discount. So you guys can check your email there. Okay. Okay. So um, let's first talk about um, how many of you guys have how many of you guys have used hyaluronic acid serum? Not products that have hyaluronic acid in it, because there's a lot of stuff that have hyaluronic acid, but a serum that's hyaluronic acid. Oh, you can go to this website and sign up there. There'll be a pop-up and then you can sign up there. Okay. Um, so nobody here has used hyaluronic acid serum? Hmm. Okay, so I'm going to talk about it because this is one of the things that I get DM'd a lot about or they'll mention it. They'll say, "I used hyaluronic acid serum. It says it, it draws water to the skin 1,000 times its weight, and um, but it dries out my skin." So this is what happens when you use hyaluronic acid on dry skin. It is drawn to water, okay? Water molecules. So when you put hyaluronic acid on dehydrated skin that's lacking water, it's going to draw up. So we naturally have hyaluronic acid in our skin, in our body, in our joints. It acts like a lubricant, it's in our organs. So when you apply hyaluronic acid serum on your skin that's already dehydrated or dry, it's going to actually pull up the natural humectants of the hyaluronic acid in your skin and make it more dehydrated. So what you have to do is that you actually have to add moisture to the skin. Now, yes, you can add water, um, but the thing is that that also can dehydrate your skin. So what you want is a combination of a formulation of water and humectants in that formulation, because humectants draw moisture to the skin. But that's not enough, because if you live in an arid climate, obviously it's going to evaporate, and that's going to make your skin feel drier. So what you have to do is you have to then, on top of that, add a combination of emollients, especially if you have dry skin, emollients and occlusives. So, occlusives are basically ingredients that stay on top of your skin, okay, and they prevent the moisture that's on your skin from evaporating, okay. But what can happen with occlusive agents is that for people who have oily skin, so somebody on here said that you have oily skin, because it keeps it from evaporating. What can happen is that those of you who are producing oil but not enough water, that can break you out. So there is this like balance. And so what happens is when people are using things that can dry out their skin, like tretinoin or retin-A or hydroquinone is a big one, any acne control products, and they feel like their skin is getting dehydrated, and they add, richer lotions because they think their skin is dry, and then they break out. It's because their skin is not dehydrated. It's actually uh, it it's actually dry, not dehydrated, right? Because dehydration means your skin is lacking water, not oil. Okay. And you can be both, right? You can be dry and dehydrated. And if you have really dry skin, then you're lacking oil, but not necessarily water. Does that make sense? Okay. So let me know in the comments that that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so let me see here. So I'm going to do a demonstration. Oh, the other thing I'm also going to talk about, if you guys will stay on, is I'm going to be talking about um, a technically, it's not an amino acid. It's actually an amino acid derivative, but you need this in your skin. And this is why, because if you don't have enough hyaluronic acid in your skin, okay, then it doesn't matter how much products you're putting on. You're always going to constantly having to put on products. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the chat real quick and see. Um, 24 years old. I have dry, dehydrated skin, and I've also got perioral dermatitis. I don't know how. I've been suffering for 4 months now. I've been prescribed pharmacomylis, but it has not done much. Okay, so let's address that first. How, first of all, the most common form of perioral dermatitis is the type of toothpaste that you use. So, a lot of common toothpaste, the big name toothpaste like Colgate and Crest and things like that, they use a lot of sulfates. So, if you look on your ingredients, and that's a foaming agent. So, that will dry out the area of your skin. It disrupts your skin barrier. So that's very common. Number two is you may be lacking vitamin Bs. Okay. So when you're constantly getting cracks on your lips, that is one. Now, if you're actually getting cracks in the corners of your mouth, okay, then that could be a yeast problem. So if you are eating too much yeast containing foods, whether it's breads, wine, um, beers, sugar, because sugar feeds on yeast, even kombucha, which is considered healthy, right? That can also, that's constant cracking of the corners of your lips. So that's another thing, is if you have tried all these different uh, balms and things like that, but your lips are constantly dry or cracking. So perioral dermatitis is typically the type of toothpaste that you're using, and you're not rinsing it off well enough. Now, I would recommend that you go to a toothpaste that is, that doesn't have that. It's more of a natural type of toothpaste. Let's see. So, Farida Tijani. Hi. How are you? Could we address dermal dehydration with treatments of products? Okay. So, can you be more specific as far as, like, with treatments or products? What kind of treatments or specific products? Um, okay. Let's see. Can you do it start to finish for morning and night? Can you do a video from start to finish for morning and night, please? You mean like a skincare routine, or what does that mean? Um, so Swoke Layer Green is a great for all natural toothpaste. Okay, so we have a recommendation here from Woke Slayer. I love that name. That's so funny. Okay, let's see. I'm getting rashes around my nose and chin and around my eyes. It's kind of cut off. It gets itchy sometimes around my nose and chin and around my eyes. Ooh, okay. So it does that look the same? Does that rash kind of look the same as around your mouth? That I'd have to see a picture of that, because there's all different types of rashes. Um, Without seeing it, I can't really speak to that. It sounds like, because if it looks the same, it almost sounds like you have like a yeast or fungal kind of thing, or it could just be topical dermatitis. It's para dermatitis is, let's say, for long run. Okay, so here's the thing with this: when you have dermatitis, when you have psoriasis, when you have eczema, it could be environmentally triggered or diet triggered. So there's a whole list of questions that I usually ask my clients before just coming up with something. So the first line of things that I would probably go through is, when you got that, when you first started to notice that, did you change a product? Did you add a product to, or did you try a product in a store or something like that? That's the first thing. What changed in your routine that you got that? Was there something that you ate that was new? That's the first thing. And then just kind of go down the list to see. And then how long have you had it, and is it getting worse? Because if it's getting worse, obviously whatever is triggering that is constantly triggering that. So, and is it itchy, right? Because some rashes are not itchy, they're just painful. So um, I would probably start going into that. Just when somebody asks a question when there's actually dermatitis or a rash related, I'd have to see what it looks like. And then also, start asking questions of what changed in their environment and then what kind of diet. Okay. So let's go into, since there's, say, for the long run, any type of any type of prescription medication is never good for the long run, I don't think. I mean, there are exceptions, obviously, right? Because there's just so many. But typically, what I've seen when it comes to skin, because we're talking about skin now, right? Um, that I do ask those questions of what medications that people are on, because when you're on medication for long enough, it can lead to hair loss, it can lead to hyperpigmentation, it can lead to all sorts of other different symptoms that the body is maybe responding to. So, um, okay, let's see. So Adrienne asks, how do you treat a broken skin barrier while having fungal acne? Okay, so let's clarify first. Okay, so when you say broken skin barrier, do you actually mean that there's cracks in your skin, there's fissures in your skin, or do you mean an impaired barrier function? So I need to clarify that first. Okay. Um, so while you're writing that, I'm going to go into, so let's kind of go into, I'm going to give you an example because nobody really talked about products. And so I'm going to do what I'm most familiar with my clients. So right now I am actively treating, I have a roster that's active about 2,600 clients. I have a larger list of them, but they are, they just come to me now their skin is healed. And so they may come back to me and ask me questions about certain things when their skin is not acting right or whatever. But right now, these are the active people that I am treating. Okay. So because nobody has suggested any retail products, I'm going to go to the products that I use. Okay. Because I'm most familiar with them. They are clean, they're fragrance free, paraben free, synthetic. They don't have any silicones, they don't have any, polyacrylates, they don't have any of that stuff in there. So I'm going to go for that. Um, okay, so let's see. Impaired barrier function. Okay. Cream it goes away, but when I stop the medication, it comes back. Started 4 months ago in January. I haven't changed much of skin routine. Okay, so Afreen, I don't know what kind of do you use skincare products or do you just use this cream on there? I would also look to see what kind of side effects that this can bring on. So obviously, is it a like a cortisone type of medication or um like a steroidal kind of is it just to calm the skin, because obviously your body is telling you that something is wrong and then this medication is just quieting that symptom. So we got to figure out what the root of the symptom is, right? Okay, so impaired barrier function, so we're going to talk about that. So fungal acne, um, obviously yes, when you have fungal acne, it is an impaired barrier function. I would have to know what kind of skincare products that you're using. And let's talk a little bit about impaired barrier function. There's so many people that have impaired barrier function because now we have a lot of retail. So when I was growing up, um, a long time ago, okay, so they didn't have a lot of active ingredients in skincare products. So, and when I say that, they didn't have a lot of, things that had salicylic acid. They um, benzoyl peroxide was the common ingredient for skincare products, and alcohol was in a lot of products. Soap, sulfates, a lot of detergent agents were in a lot of products. But as far as the things that we have access to now, that is so now what's happening is because people don't know how to use these products correctly and in the right combination, they are over exfoliating, they're stripping their skin barrier. And when your skin barrier is impaired, it doesn't matter what the cause is, you're going to have you're triggering cytokines, right? Inflammatory. So your skin is going to age a lot faster. So I think that what we're going to see, I'm already seeing it now, is in 10 to 15 years, all these people who are going online and saying, this is what I use during the day, this is what I'm doing, or whatever, you're going to see, I'm already seeing it, is these women that look like they're in their middle age, but they're in their late 20s and 30s. Like I'm actually surprised, like, oh. And so then when they tell me their skincare routine, I'm like, why are you using this? Why are you using that? How are you using this? How are you using that? They're using it incorrectly, and they are, in an effort to slow down the appearance of aging in their skin, they're actually increasing it because their skin barrier is impaired. Our skin is designed to protect our skin from the external environments. It has a very complicated way of functioning that they're still trying to figure out, how it exactly functions. So going back to when you have an impaired barrier and you have fungal acne, I my first thing is, how do you know that you have fungal acne? Because I've had several people who've reached out to me and said that they had fungal acne, and then when I saw the pictures and then we went through all the questions, it was not fungal acne. So here they are trying to treat it for fungal acne, and they're just making their barrier with their skin barrier uh, more impaired. So I would want to know that. If you know that you have fungal acne, then let's start to talk about that. Okay, inhibitor to dermatitis. But my doc gave me to use and said it'll not cause damage like a steroid and is safe for long run, but it's only temporary relief. Okay, so I are you okay, so this is just because of your name. I don't know. Are you in the United States? Because I do get viewers from different countries, and I a lot of times in different countries they work a little bit differently. So if you are you're from India. See, so I get a lot of people from India because in India there's a lot of hyperpigmentation. So when you're in India, okay, so um, I would go do you I don't know, in India, do you have an allergist? Do they have an allergist? Because if you have a yeah, fair skin is typically more sensitive than darker skin. So, um, go to an allergist, because and then they can start to do testing, because by the time it's inside your body and it shows up on your skin, it's actually been happening for a while. Okay. So I would go to an allergist and they're going to ask you all these questions about foods, detergents, environmental things first. Because yes, okay, maybe you can use it long term, but every time we use medication, you guys, every time you use medication, it's going to be your liver, your kidney, and is going to suffer. So when your liver is taxed, this is when you start to have really bad skin diseases and disorders. So I would go to them because they are the source of what is causing this. Okay. So I would continue to use it, but then I would also take note of when it's triggered. Okay. When that happens. And then that way you can give better information to the allergist. Okay. So I'm sorry I couldn't help you with this, but when I cannot see the person and I don't have enough information, then I just, I can't really give correct information. Okay. So, and I don't want to lead people astray, which it seems like, and this is why I don't watch a lot of it, but because my clients will watch them and then forward me the link um, to something, and then I will give them the information, and then I'll say, if you want to research this, you can research it yourself. Everything is on the internet, and you will see that what I'm telling you is the truth. Okay. So let's go on to like a demo. Okay. So since I didn't get anything in the chats for like retail products or whatever, here I'm going to give you an example. So let's do first. Okay. Okay. So let's do the person that actually had oily skin. Okay. So I'm going to do one that has oily skin, and then oily skin and breakouts first. Then we will do dry and dehydrated skin. Okay. Does that work for everybody? Okay. Hopefully, give me a thumbs up if that works for everybody. Okay, so here we go. So let's pretend that you've washed your face, right? Your cleanser is actually the most important, believe it or not, because that's the foundation. That's what sets the pH of your skin. So right there, if you are using, go ahead and look at your ingredients in your cleanser. If it has sulfates in it or it has a lot of drying agents in it, that's already stripping your lipid barrier. You want to be able to control the oil without stripping your barrier. Okay. So I have a cleanser that I use for my acne clients that helps address, balance out oil, but it doesn't strip the oil from the face. A lot of oil control. They say oil control cleansers a lot of times or acne control cleansers, and it's because it's going to dry out the skin. It strips it. So already now you have an impaired lipid barrier, right? So even whatever you're going to put on top of it, it's going to make your face super, super shiny and oily because your skin is trying to protect itself because you stripped that oil barrier. Okay. Okay, so you cleanse your face. Let's just say you cleanse your face, you exfoliate your face, right? So then what you do is now let's talk a little bit about toners because toner, everyone immediately thinks a toner with a cotton and that you wipe your skin down. The reason why that was actually created um, a long time ago where they used just straight up witch hazel. Then they changed the formulation and they reduced the amount of witch hazel because witch hazel on its own typically is about 14% alcohol. So they use that to basically take off the soap film that was left because everybody used soap or a soap based product, right? So they use that. So now, when I say toner, it's really a hydrating mist. So you want to look to see, you don't want anything that has alcohol in it, and you don't want to have anything that contains any witch hazel in it. Even though some people swear by it, and it's an astringent, but when you're dealing with dry and dehydrated skin, witch hazel is not what you need to be using. You need to so you need to have a hydrating mist. Now, people have asked about what about um, the flour-based hydrosols? Well, so here's the thing. Now we're going to get into pH. So there are things that are a little bit more hydrating than just water, but when it's just flower petals and water, which is a hydrosol, right? It's extracted from a plant or rose petals or whatever. It doesn't have enough humectants in it. So, and the pH is still neutral. So if you are using an active ingredient like vitamin C or any of the anti-aging products, your skin actually is on its own needs to be slightly acidic, and that's to protect the skin barrier. When you go too acidic or too alkaline, your skin can be over dry and oversensitized over time. Okay, so I use this one. So I talk about this all the time. My clients love it because my rosacea clients, my acne clients, my hyperpigmentation clients, all of them do well with this. Okay, so it's called, I don't know if you can see, sorry, my room is kind of dark today. It's called Brighten and Hydrate, brightening biopeptide, and it's in the description below. Um, and you can look at the ingredients. I'm not going to waste time going through all of the ingredients in there, but it is clean. Um, I'm going to put a link here. So if you guys want to look at it, you can look at it. Okay. So it is formulated actually to have a nice balance of humectants, and it does have some brighteners in there. So what you do first is you're going to spray your skin. So this isn't really going to work because my skin is actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually nicely hydrated. I work hard at that. But okay, let me get my products ready so you. Okay, so the step one first is I'm going to do the toner. Okay. And then I do this one. And because this product is actually fairly new, because I've started to get new clients that have impaired barrier function. And I'm like, what is happening? Why is everyone coming now that have impaired barrier functions? Okay. So this is called dewdrops. Oops, can you see this? Okay, so it has this kind of texture. I'm explaining it first because I'm going to show you the steps. So let me open it up. It's white. So I don't know if you can, let's see. Can you guys see it? So it's white. It's like a gel, almost like a, can you guys see that? It's like a cream gel. Okay. Um, and it's, see, it's not that, it's thicker than water, but thinner than lotion. You know what I mean? Okay. So now your skin actually is, even though it's technically not an oil, the fatty acids and how the jojoba oil is structured is very closely related to the human sebum. So that's why your skin can kind of take that in more than heavier oils because the essential fatty acid chains are different. Okay, so what you're going to do is then I'm going to layer it with sunscreen because it's during the day. In the evening, you would do it with moisturizer. So here we go. Okay. So after you wash your face, let's just pretend that you, oops, let's just pretend that you washed your face already. Now, if you're using a serum, so let's pretend that you're using vitamin C serum, and it's a water-based serum, but not hyaluronic acid. So vitamin C serum or any other type of serum that's water based. Okay. You're going to put that on your face after you wash your face and you're going to let it dry. Okay. You're going to let it absorb. The reason why you don't want to put something on right after is because you will dilute that active ingredient very easily. Okay. So you want to let it sit. Now, if you're using hyaluronic acid serum, and I'm talking about a hyaluronic acid serum that um, that does not have vitamin C or vitamin E, it's just straight hyaluronic acid serum. If you're using that, don't put that on your face first. Okay, so let me explain why. If it doesn't have any other active ingredient except hyaluronic acid, it doesn't, it needs the water and the moisture. But if it has active ingredients in there like vitamin C, you're going to dilute it, right? So if you're going to do vitamin C, you have active ingredients, that has to go onto the skin first. You're going to let it dry. Okay. Then after you let that absorb, and I'm talking about like 15, 20 minutes. When you feel your skin, you always use the back of your hand, not your hands, right? Because you can add additional oil or dirt or whatever. So you always want to use the back of your hands and feel it. If if it feels like it's pretty absorbed into your skin, right? Then you can move on to the next step. Now, here's where, so when you do that, you're going to spray the toner onto your face. Okay. Let me get everything ready. I wish you could see that my face is because it's like nicely hydrated. But okay, so you're gonna take the toner, right? And you're gonna spray your face. I'm gonna just do the side of my face here. Let's see, can you guys see here? Okay, so you're gonna hold on. Okay, so you're gonna spray your face, right? I don't know if you can see that, because and then you're gonna take the serum and you're going to put this on, okay? And you're going to let it, this doesn't have any active ingredients in it because it's designed for that, because you've already layered it on your face, right? So you spray the toner, then you put this on, then while your face is still moist, then you take sunscreen. I'm just doing a little dab right here because I already have some on, okay? and then you're going to apply it on your face. Okay. Now, this is great for people who have really dry skin and mature skin. If you have oily skin or breakout prone skin and you want to use hyaluronic acid serum, you're going to spray the toner first, then do the hyaluronic acid serum, because what's going to happen is those little molecules of hyaluronic acid are going to be drawn to that moisture of the water. Okay, then before your skin dries up, you're going to add your sunscreen. Now, when you have an impaired barrier function, your hyaluronic acid levels are low. Obviously, you are, if you have oily skin, you're stripping that because you have oily skin with other products. So this is why the dewdrops works, because it has a balance of what your skin, it has humectants and it has vitamin E and jojoba oil, resveratrol. So it actually has ingredients to help repair the skin. Okay. Now, obviously, if you have dry skin, you're going to do the same steps. You're going to do the toner, and then you're going to um, add the dewdrops. But then on top of that, because dry skin lacks the essential fatty acids and you need the occlusive agents, you're going to put at night, you're going to put cream, night cream on top of the dewdrops. So basically, what this is doing, that dewdrops is basically repairing the skin, helping your skin repair, right? And then you're going to put your night cream on there to prevent it from evaporating. Okay. Um, and it basically helps heal the skin and help restore the skin barrier eventually. Okay. Now, that's the first part. That's the topical part of it. Okay. I say topical because when I'm asking clients who have perpetually dry skin, that means they're lacking the essential amino acids in their skin as well as the fatty acids. So I'm going to ask them about their diet. Now, obviously, if it's women and they're in postmenopausal, the hormones really can affect that. So, um, but you can minimize that. Okay, you can minimize that because I'm postmenopausal. I've been postmenopausal for a very, very long time, and um, if I am doing something different, like, going swimming a lot, or being out in the sun a lot, then yes, I will start to see in my skin in the light how, like, it can get really crepey. So if I see that, then what I do is I increase the amount of essential fatty acids that I am eating, and um, I will increase actually using my dewdrops. So that's actually um, my secret. When That's actually my secret. I don't use any, like, you know highlighters or sparkly things, or because sparkly things actually emphasize you looking older when you're older. So I don't do any of that. So I hope I simplified that for you. So a lot of times people will use hyaluronic acid serum just on dry skin and then leave that, especially for people who have oily skin. They will actually increase in dryness and breakouts. Okay. Um, so let's go over, or if their skin is like really, really dry and then they keep adding oil to their skin and their skin is shiny, right? It's oily, but as soon as the oil wears off, their skin still feels really dry underneath. I don't know if that makes sense or not. What that means is they may be lacking water in their skin and oil. So both. So I'm going to go back and see if there's any questions or if I need to clarify anything. Let's see. Rosacea prone, a routine for rosacea prone skin. Okay, wait. Okay, so Afreen, you said that you had perioral dermatitis and you have rosacea prone skin. So rosacea prone skin meaning you actually have redness, blotchiness, and some broken capillaries. Do you have any pustules? So I would have to know that. Um, I use an oil facial cleanser. Okay, let's talk about that. Under Grace, that's actually really good. So hold on, I dropped. I'll drop my thing here. Okay. So, okay. So, facial oil as a cleanser. Okay. Oils break down oil. Oil and water, they repel each other, right? So, when you have really oily skin and or you use a lot of oil-based products and or you use a lot of heavy makeup and you use a lot of sunscreen. These are things that only oil can break down, right? However, what type of oil can determine how effectively it can break it down? And that is because the chemical structure of the fatty acids of the oil that you're using. That's why coconut oil is heavier, right? So it's, once it you melt it down, it gets warmer, it changes, right? But it's also really water repellent, and so it's really difficult to get off. What you want to do is, there's not one oil that can do everything, that can take off oil but hydrate your skin at the same time. It's because of the different fatty acid structures, okay, what it makes up of. So if you have dry, mature skin, you don't want something. A lot of times, the drier skin people will go towards balms, skin balms, and things that have fattier or larger oil molecules. But what can end up happening is that it doesn't effectively get it off as much. So you always have to follow when you're using a cleansing oil. You want to follow with a hydrating cleanser to rebalance your skin, because facial oils typically are not uh, exactly to your skin's sebum, right? So it's going to take off all the oils. That's what it's designed to do, is get off all the oils. The oil sticks to the oils and gets it off, including your own oils. So you have to uh, rehydrate your skin with a balancing, hydrating facial cleanser. You can't just use a cleansing oil, because it's not going to do the trick. Now, I have a foaming cleansing oil that even my clients who have really oily skin, they love it because it takes off all the oil. But I tell them, they go, my skin feels, it takes everything off. It feels like my skin is clean. But I tell them, if they don't use a balancing cleanser after that, their skin will become actually oilier, because you've taken off all the oils of the skin. Okay, so make sure, under Grace, um, that you use it with a balancing cleanser. Now, if you would like to try, I do have a special. If you look under there, it's buy one get one free, and you get a bottle this big, and it actually lasts for several months because it's so concentrated. So I probably would recommend for you, under Grace, just completely, even though I don't know anything about your skin, probably the all natural balancing cleanser. And then you could probably try the facial cleanser, because you can use it two ways. You can actually use it on dry skin if you have really oily skin or wear a lot of thick makeup, or lots of sunscreen, that'll get it off. But for someone who has dry, mature skin, I always tell them to dilute. So you wet your face, right? You wet your face, you take this cleansing oil, and then you add water to it, and then it'll start to foam. So you're basically diluting it, and then work it that way. And that will be much gentle, because this formulation is pretty concentrated. Okay. Um, let's see here. That is better than hyaluronic acid, especially for, oh, okay. So high altitude dry conditions. This is the okay. So when you live in very, very dry conditions, it's okay to use a product that has hyaluronic acid. Um, but in areas where it's like really, really dry and arid, that's where I would say to not use a hyaluronic acid serum on its own. Now, if you live in a really humid place like Florida, um, where else is really humid? Like in Hawaii or somewhere like that, and then you also have oily skin, Just hyaluronic acid on its own will draw that moisture on your skin. Okay, so that's something where it might work. Now you still might need a little bit of oil, right? Because the hyaluronic acid, it can evaporate some. So that's when I would recommend something like dewdrops. Um, the reason why you don't see a lot of products that use jojoba oil is it's expensive. You know, it's expensive. Now, when people use just jojoba oil on their skin, they're like, "Well, you said it was similar to my sebum and I broke out." Well, that's why you want a balance. You want a balance of a little bit of the jojoba oil with the humectants, with the water. That's why there has to be this like it's like a balancing act because even in your skin, right? Even in your skin that you have a combination of hyaluronic acid, ceramides, cholesterol, so the essential fatty acids. Okay. All right. So if there's no more questions, I'm going to talk about the essential amino acids that improves your skin barrier from the inside out. Now they're doing clinical studies where you actually topically they're adding it to see if it works, and they've seen improvements of that. But this is the essential amino acid that improves the skin barrier, and um, it's called taurine. Now, this essential, I keep saying it's an amino acid because it is referred to one, but it's not. It's an amino acid derivative. Um, it is an essential sulfonic acid. And it's basically a sulfur containing amino acid. So just to want to be technically correct. Anyway, when you are older, we are lacking this. And taurine actually helps really slow down aging. And as people age and their gut is not as healthy, they will tend to eat less meat, and that's usually where taurine comes from. Now, when I say meat, I don't mean red meat. Um, so what this does, it significantly stimulates the production in your skin to help with barrier function, ceramides, cholesterol, and essential fatty acids. It actually stimulates that in your body. Okay. Um, Now, let's talk about the foods that are high in taurine. It's oysters, um, shellfish, oysters, the dark meat of chicken, turkey, and the darker meat of like tuna. So not albacore tuna. You know when you get the regular tuna, the canned tuna, and it's like kind of like a reddish color. That that's higher in taurine. Now taurine is in yogurt as well as in red meats, but not as high. Um, Now, for those of you who are vegan or you do not eat any type of animal protein, this is why typically when they do studies, people who don't eat this, their skin is physiologically older because they have a harder time getting this in their diet. You can get this as far as a plant based taurine, and it's pretty high in taurine, is red seaweed. Okay, so red seaweed. And you can actually get the red marine algae as a food source in there. And I actually put a link below that you can look at it. You don't have to get it if you don't want to, but I tried to find one that didn't have a lot of the fillers in it because when you look at the supplements that are like super cheap, it's basically filled with silica, sand. There's a lot of fillers in it and corn byproducts and things like that. So I just found one that's all that is just the algae. Okay. Okay. Uh, so that's one. Now let me find what else. Oh, so here's another one that you guys might be interested in. Taurine actually suppresses collagen loss, as you get older. And as we get older, the collagen and elastin fibers become irregulated. Okay, they're not smooth, and so um, that's what causes a lot of the creasing in our notice how I looked at my arm, the creasing of our skin. So taurine really helps with that. It basically slows that down. Um, and it also increases the amount of natural hyaluronic acid in our skin. So you want that because it actually will increase the ability for your skin to hold on to its natural moisture. Okay. Now, people who have impaired barrier function, like psoriasis, eczema, um, rosacea, those type of things, you need to have taurine because this is going to help repair your barrier function from the inside out. Okay. Um, okay, so the people who need to avoid taurine are people who are pregnant and people who breastfeed. Obviously, if you're on medication, especially antidepressants, anti-seizure medications, those type of things, you do have to talk to your doctor about supplements. I probably would go the route of eating it from whole foods, especially if you're on medication, just because um, your liver is already being overtaxed by taking the medication, and filtering that out of your body after it's been processed. So I would probably look into that first if you're on any type of medication. And the best time to take taurine is at night because it lowers cortisol levels and it helps you relax and helps you go to sleep. So, uh, any other questions that I have. Did you guys find this helpful? Can you guys let me know if you found this helpful? As far as I know, I'm not the typical, um, you know, skin person as far as like on social media, but it's because I actually practice this. I actually see clients. So um, if there is, doesn't look like there's no other questions. So, oh, yeah, great. Thank you. Very helpful. Okay, so also under Grace, I also wanted to ask you um, what your is that why you came on? Is because you feel like you're welcome. Um, Dehydrated skin or dry skin? Probably, I'm just assuming based on where you live and your age, you are going to have to. Okay. Yeah. So basically, just to help you, Angelica, the last part of it is about taurine and how it helps your skin. And then the first part of it was addressing questions as well as doing just kind of like a really quick demo. Okay. So the next live that I will be doing, I will be actually using a machine showing you what I do with my clients. Um, I can't do all of them. I'll just do one of them. Okay. So if there is no other questions, I will see you guys on the next one. Look, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, so then you'll get the subscribe posts of when I will be doing the live. And if you guys want other topics that you want me to discuss or you want me to go over a product, that is, you guys can put that in there as well. Because I always get like requests to do product reviews. And then when I ask, okay, what kind of product, they don't tell me. So I don't know what product to review. Okay. So I've been on here for just under an hour. And so I will see you guys in the next video. Okay. So thanks for watching. We'll talk soon. Have a great weekend.